Hey everyone. Welcome. I want to apologize. I am not in my typical setup. I'm sitting in a chair. It's kind of awkward positioning, so we can all go ahead and get over that. But I just want to tell y'all that I am so excited to be before you right now. Really and truly, if you had told me this time a year ago that I would be down 25 pounds, four pant sizes, and in the best shape of my life, mentally, physically, emotionally, I seriously would have been like, I need to start planning my funeral because I must be getting ready for my heavenly body. Let me turn these notifications off. Um, because that does not mean that my body is in a perfect state. Nor do I want one. I just really didn't think the effects of my poor habits in the past and my exhaustion were going to be able to be undone, on this side of eternity. Because this time last year, technically, actually, this time of August of last year, I was napping 2 to 3 hours a day, like for an entire decade. I've been doing that. I was eating most of my meals from the drive-through and really seeing no way out of my unhealthy mental and physical habits. Now, if you're thinking, oh my gosh, well, I never eat fast food. Am I even going to have results in this program? Because of course you're going to have results if that's what your lifestyle was. Absolutely. Like the people who are already ahead of the game in their health and nutrition, this tweaking of intermittent fasting and carb cycling is going to, and macro tracking is going to be a game changer. So anyway, but like many of you probably, nothing I had ever attempted to try or thought about trying was ever motivating because there was nothing sustainable in real life or manageable in real life. What was the point of doing something for 21 days or 30 days or 60 days just to go back to my old lifestyle? I mean, I was like, I'm not going to do anything that I can't do forever. So I didn't. So please, please, please trust that you are in the right place and that you will change your health on some level these next 6 weeks. Just remember, everyone is starting at a different place. And for many of us, starting for the first time. So you may not accomplish everything you set out to these next 6 weeks, but I know, because I've been doing this a fair amount of time, I know that if you trust the process and you maintain a positive mindset and just do your very best each day, you will have results. And most importantly, you're going to feel better and have more confidence along the way. So a real turning point for me was when I realized I was actually doing the nutrition and doing the workouts, not because I really wanted to look different on the outside, but because of how different I was looking on the inside. And I know that sounds super, super, super cheesy, but it's really true. I became so focused on what I was doing and accomplishing those goals each day, whether it was drinking more water or focusing on my macros or trying to figure everything out, that by the end I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not even thinking about what I look like or how I want to be in the next, 12 weeks or year or whatever. I just feel good knowing that I'm taking care of myself. So I really, really hope that you each find a place that you feel like that as well. And I am having a major screen problem right here. Let me see. Okay. If you feel like, is she looking at me? I am. It's just a little weird. I want to be able to share my screen with y'all in a minute. And currently my dog is scratching at the back door. The kids are situated at school. And I have a dog that is not. So that's exciting. Okay, so let me go back to where I was here and get you guys on the right track. All right. So, like I said, my goal and my mindset was no longer about what I wanted to be on the outside. It was really about the things that were changing on the inside. And my goal at that point was not to lose weight. So I wanted to be fit. I wanted to fit better in my clothes. And I finally reached that point where that's what it was about. And there's so many little bitty things like that along the way that I didn't really think was possible. And you're going to experience things like that too. I'm just kind of here to share a little bit of my story because before we get started, because what my mission and passion is to see how your story changes and see what your journey is like and to be able to walk alongside you in that. So anyway, so just doing my best version with this new and amazing and effective and efficient tools that I had really and truly became the goal. And it is sort of like a miracle working program. And I know that sounds too good to be true. Most of those things we hear as it relates to some sort of like supplement or product or whatnot. And this truly is just how you eat and when you eat. And it's really that simple. There is about a 2 to 3 week learning curve. So bear with me, hang tight. We will get you over that hurdle. I promise you. Stress is as much as an indicator of holding on to fat and holding on to weight as anything else. So let's not be stressed, okay? So anyway, for the first time in my life, a healthier lifestyle and a life of nutrition and fitness really became part of who I am. And I believe that it can truly do the same for those of you who are not in that place right now. Like I mentioned, back in August of 2017, I literally just began with a few small steps toward health. I was in a place where I could not even fathom what it would look like to do any sort of exercise program, that any sort of nutrition plan, any sort of regimen. Like I just was not in that place. It was all I could do. And the two goals that I set at that point were walking 10,000 steps a day and lessening my drive-through trips. So I ate a lot of bagged salads. That's basically what I lived on until I found this program. But that was really all I could manage. And so I'm like, if that's all I can commit to, it's going to be a lot better than where I am now. And it's going to be manageable. So over those first couple months, I lost about 9 pounds. And this is crazy. And this is not a requirement of this program if that's not what you're into. But I became a runner. Like I've never been a runner. Period. Not something I'm good at, not something I wanted to do. No, I did want to do, but it was not something I could push myself into doing because it was too hard. So I had never in my life run more than a mile straight. And on Thanksgiving Day of 2017, 3 months after I started that little 10,000 steps a day, bagged salads, no drive-through or less drive-through, I ran 6 solid miles without stopping. And I think it was like 11-minute miles or something. So that was a lot for me. And I know there is a runner or two in this group and y'all are like, but it was good for me. So anyway, this is not a running program. I haven't run 6 miles since then because then I started this journey of the faster way to fat loss and love these workouts. And I didn't even love working out. So I believe on this journey, we can all do hard things. But I think it's most important if you're going to do hard things and you're going to put in the work to actually have results. And so that's the part that makes me most excited is because I believe that you can find that in this program. And it's really and truly just a testament of learning to do hard things and putting one foot in front of the other when we do not feel like it, when we are overwhelmed, when we are stressed, when we are traveling, when we have family in town, like family we might not like, when we are having an anniversary or a birthday. Sorry, my nose is itching. Goodness. I know there's like some professional podcasters in this group and y'all are like, oh my gosh, I would never do that on my show. I'm sorry. Okay. So when our kids are so loud and we cannot think or function, we can still commit to this program and this lifestyle. When the darts of life are hitting us from every corner, I truly hope that this Facebook group and my program assistant, Emily, and myself, it is my hope and it is my prayer that you seek this as a source of refuge and as a source of encouragement, and that you will find the strength to move throughout this program, even when the hard parts of life hit, whatever your struggles are just in regular life, or if a circumstance comes up that you were not anticipating. So November of last year, so I'm coming up on my 1 year, I call it my fasterversary. November of last year is when I started the Faster Way to Fat Loss, and it truly changed my life. I mean, I'm talking like in such a way that I now do this as like a business. And I'm a little bit on the snobby side. So if I'm going to endorse something and support something and share something, it's got to be really good because I'm kind of a snob. Anyway, I'm still not perfect at this, y'all. Like, not perfect. So if you want to have a coach and to have an encourager that can kind of come down and not be perfect and relate to where you are, that would be me, because I am not perfect at this. I still have room for improvement and progress, and I still have the privilege and the excitement of setting new little bitty goals each day and each week that I want to work toward, because it's just constantly about progress and enhancement and making things a little bit better than they were the day before. Because, and now you will hear me say this, is that your worst day moving forward in this program, when we get started, your worst day is going to be better than your best day right now. So just keep that in mind. I also like to say practice makes progress, because I am a recovering perfectionist and I no longer believe in perfection. So practice makes progress. Let's see. I truly believe that the Faster Way to Fat Loss is hands down the best program on the market. It's efficient, it's effective, and it has given me the freedom now to want to choose a better lifestyle. Life is never going to settle down. Like I mentioned a few minutes ago, there's always going to be some level of chaos: holidays, vacations, anniversaries, birthdays, family in town, traveling, whatnot. And so the best time to learn to navigate life is now, because life is not going away. Y'all are in the perfect timing for this group, because we are getting ready to walk into the holiday season. And actually, my mom, when I started this last year, I started the Monday right after Thanksgiving, but I already had, I had registered a few weeks early. So I had the comprehensive guide and I was sort of practicing things and following a bunch of people on social media. And my mom was like, I cannot believe you're doing this like right before Thanksgiving and at Christmas. And this is just going to ruin everything. And so really and truly, by the end of the holiday season, no one knew that I had done anything differently. You know, I wasn't the person at the party bringing my own salad dressing. I wasn't asking the waitress, could they please leave off, something that is like so normal to eat. Like, there are not these extreme restrictions that are going to call a bunch of attention to yourself, because you learn how to do this in whatever situation you're in. So by the end of the holiday season, I was down 6 pounds. Nobody even knew that I was doing anything any differently. I still had sweet potato casserole. I still had this, I still had that. And so you will learn how to navigate those things. And it is so, so freeing. So, oh, by the way, in case you have ended up here and you are like, who is this person? I am Amberly Devers. I'm so sorry. I'm a wife. I'm a homeschooling mom of 5 kiddos, ages 11, 10, 8, 6, and 4. It's like for part of the year, everybody's odd numbers. And then anyway, right now we're in odd, and then even. So that changes in March. But anyway, so I do homeschool them, but we go to an amazing hybrid school where they go 2 days a week and they come home and I facilitate assignments essentially. It's perfect. But I don't like perfect, but it's like the perfect scenario for right now. It's the best thing I can think of. So anyway, fortunately, they get the instruction and tests and grades and accountability and all of that. And then they're home 3 days a week. So it's really, really a more simple way to live. I'm all about simplicity. I'm all about efficiency, and I'm all about effectiveness. And so in every area. And so this is the way to do that with educating my kids. So I'm also a Faster Way to Fat Loss certified coach, and I'm in the process of launching my business, Dwellness, which is deliberately dwelling in wellness, that will incorporate the Faster Way to Fat Loss. It will incorporate a nutrition component with a specialist in that area for people who need that resource. And there will be a mind and soul program that is in the process of being written right now. And I hope to launch that in the beginning of 2019. So anyway, a lot of stuff going on. But I consider it a great, great privilege to share this lifestyle of freedom with others from my home. So thank you for being part of this journey. Okay, we're going to get started. I know some of you have already read every word of every piece of material that you have received. You may be stalking every coach in person doing this program. You may have decided you were going to go ahead and start meal prepping and doing the exercises or whatnot. But today I'm going to go over the basics of the Faster Way to Fat Loss and what we're going to be doing here together. I will also leave room at the end for you to ask questions through the comments. And then I will come back and answer those. I already have some questions that were sent to me. I have a compilation of questions from other groups. And so I'm going to go through that in this little Q&A. And then I want you to leave your questions in the comments. If Emily is on this call, she will answer those while I'm talking. Otherwise, when this call is over, I'll go through and answer your questions. I found that I get so distracted with the comments, like I can't even look at them because then I'm like all over the place, as you can probably tell, and there are no comments right now. So, or if there are, I have not been looking. So anyway, So let's see. The Fast Road to Fat Loss is technically a gluten and dairy-free program, but it is not a requirement. You are free here to work on the changes that you want to implement. As you begin to eat whole foods that come from the ground or have a mother, then you will naturally eliminate a great deal of gluten and dairy from your diet. I typically eat a little bit of dairy, especially on my low carb days. I have not completely cut out all processed foods. I don't consume a ton of them. And I do detoxes here and there as ways to challenge myself and whatnot. But you do what you can do right now. Do not be panic stricken. We are not going to go that route of extremity, because we've all done those extreme things before and they've still landed us in a place where we needed something else. So we are making healthy changes one step at a time, one day at a time. And each day we will progress further and further into our journey of health. Months down the road, the things you thought you could never change or weren't really even on your radar become a thing of the past. We start with the basics and you work from there as you're ready and as you're able, making progress and setting new goals each week toward what you can attain. You want it to be achievable. You want it to be measurable. You want it to be realistic, right? So like I said, I'm gluten and dairy limited or minimal, however you want to say it. So as you may have discovered in the reading, the Faster Way to Fat Loss is a program that will literally turn you from a sugar burner into a fat burner. And we do this through carb cycling and intermittent fasting and eating the right macros at the right time. Through carb cycling, we deplete our stored glycogen and cause our bodies to burn stored fat. And if we don't, our bodies just continually burn that sugar and never get down into those fat stores. So, which leaves us with a ton of unhealthy stored fat. So with the carb cycling, we actually follow an eating rotation each week for optimal fat burning strategies. We will have 2 low carb days each week, 2 low macro days each week, and 3 regular macro days each week. Do not worry. You are not expected to keep all of that straight today. It takes a little time, but just so you know, every day of each week will look the same throughout the 6-week program. Mondays and Tuesdays, if you want to write it down on your calendar for the next 6 weeks, are low carb. Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, regular macro. Friday, Sunday, low macro. That's what 6 weeks of your life is going to look like. And I do have a little chart if you're kind of like a pencil and paper person. Just don't share it with anyone because it's not really copyrighted. Like literally, I'm trying to give you guys so many resources that I actually did not have when I went through the program. So these were just kind of things I came up with on my own. And I'm like, I'm just going to share it with y'all, even though it's not, branded necessarily. So just don't share it with anybody. Kind of keep it to yourself. Anyway, so I will, let me see if I can pull that up. Oh, bummer. Where is that? Oh, man. Okay, now I'm really messing things up here. Let me see if I can find that. What did I do with it? Sorry, y'all. Okay, well, anyway, I was going to share my screen with you and show you this really cute, I know what I did. I brought it up and then I went to get something else and I lost it. So, let me see if this is it. So I'm going to show you here in a few minutes this little macro, I call it a macro chart. I can do that now because I found it. Okay, so this is what this looks like. You can just print this off. I'll post this in the group later. But this just kind of has at the top all the different days of the week and what they are. So low carb, regular macro, low macro, regular macro, low macro. And what this C, F, and P stands for, and we'll kind of get into that in just a moment, you can kind of go through and write your goals out on these pieces of paper just so you can kind of flip from your screen on your phone where you're keeping track of it through MyFitnessPal, and then also look at it right here on the chart. It's just kind of a little bit easier. So anyway, that's that. I hope you find that helpful. So anyway, I actually do really unfancy meals. Like I don't do a lot of it on social media anymore because I'm busy doing other things. But when I was first getting started, so there are some highlights if you want to go through there and just kind of see some of the things I've done over the past, but I have 5 kids. I eat a lot of bag salads. I do a lot of quick and easy things. So I will try to get into a little bit more of that in the future. But I have actually been, and I did not do this in the beginning, but I think I'm going to let this dog in. But I think that it would help you. It's definitely helped me is I actually go through and enter my foods into my Fitness Pal. And I'll be honest, I really only do that Monday through Thursday. Y'all, this is so ridiculous. This dog's in heat, so I really need to put like her diaper on her, but I'm just not going to put y'all through that. So this should be interesting. Tell you what, goodness gracious. Okay. Anyhow, so I plan my meals in my Fitness Pal, and I will just kind of go through for the week, what I'm going to have for lunch, what I'm going to have for dinner, what I may have for snacks. And then from there, I write my grocery list. Okay. And so that has been such a helpful thing to me. And I will go ahead and tell you that the most helpful thing that you will do is going to be to pre-plan your meals. We will say that 75 times a day. Pre-plan your meals. Because here's the deal. If you have to deviate from that, it's totally okay. But you need to have some sort of plan in place because what is it? Fail to plan or plan to fail? Fail to plan to fail. So anyway, that is just what's been a very, very helpful resource to me. So prep week, however, is a very, very intense time for me with registrations coming through late and technology things. I'm so sorry. If I've been making y'all like motion sick with this camera thing, oh my word, I am really sorry. So anyway, prep week is a very full week of registrations coming in late and trying to get everybody set up. And sometimes my email just like hates people that have Hotmail or what else was it? Comcast. And so they're like 1 week later, hey, I didn't get my email. And I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding? So anyway, in addition to the carb cycling, we will practice intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is probably this buzzword that you've been hearing. It's all over, like all these people that thought I was crazy 6 months ago are now sending me articles from NBC, whatever, Good Morning America, Dr. Oz, I think Oprah, I don't know. And they're like, oh my gosh, you know that thing you do? I'm going to start doing it because look what I heard. And I'm like, okay, well, and as some of you may have already experienced, you cannot intermittent fast or fast intermittently without getting in the correct macros each day. That puts you in a calorie deficit and you gain it all back. And so I'm like, don't do that alone. Oh my gosh. But nobody listens to me. So anywho, in addition to all of the things it will change for your body fat-wise, it has anti-aging benefits. It has the ability, and I'm not claiming it to do this for you, but it has the ability to heal hormonal issues. As a matter of fact, a coach that I was on a Faster Way to Fat Loss training weekend earlier in this year has Hashimoto's. And for 10 years, she was gluten and dairy free because that's what's suggested as an aid to that autoimmune disorder. And so she went ahead and started the Faster Way to Fat Loss and has been able to cut her medication in half because of what this program has done for her. So it's not just about the gluten and dairy free. It's not just about the intermittent fasting. It's not just about the carb cycling. It's a lot of it together and fueling your body efficiently. I also have a cousin who has been in the program since March who has no thyroid because she had thyroid cancer at 18. So she definitely has, she takes medication for regulating her hormones. They were just all out of whack and they could not get her situated. So now she is losing inches. She is feeling better. She has energy. Her medication has been stabilized. So it definitely is of huge, huge benefit. Let's see what else. Oh, and the actual purpose of intermittent fasting is so that our body will go into a fasted state and dip into that stored fat for the energy it needs, which if y'all are like me, all of our lives, we've been hearing that if you, if you go too many hours between eating, it scares your body and it frightens it and it just holds onto the fat. Well, when you're intermittent fasting consistently and fueling your body with the correct macros, that doesn't happen. And so it works to your advantage. So on this program, we are not restricting calories or nutrition. So don't you try to trick me and set your MyFitnessPal goals to like losing a zillion pounds a week. I will see that. And I do not want you doing that because That's what most of you, we have been doing for years and years and years, is over-exercising, under-eating, and we have destroyed our hormones, we have destroyed our metabolism, etc. So I will be looking at your macros. Our goal over the next 6 weeks is to provide our bodies with the appropriate fats, carbs, and proteins that it needs each day of each week. We call this unit of fats, carbs, and proteins macros. And I literally thought macros were like for the beefy gym rats, that carried around those big gallon size plastic gallon containers of water, and I was like, oh my gosh, I wonder what that, I would just think to myself, that macro stuff must be really intense, but it's not, y'all. If I can do it, you can do it. Okay. And the full term here is macronutrients. And so it's the 3 prime nutrients that our bodies need, which are fats, carbs, and proteins. And, we've all been hearing no carbs, no carbs, no carbs. And in fact, we do need carbs. Now, I'm not talking about like potato chips and, white loaf Wonder Bread and all that kind of stuff, but we're talking about good complex carbs, sweet potatoes, brown rice, oatmeal, oats, whatever you want to say. So anyway, although we only eat in an 8-hour period of time throughout the day, we are filling those 8 hours with healthy macros, healthy fats, healthy protein, carbs to fuel our body efficiently, so it has the energy that it needs to burn the fat we don't need during our fasting time, while renewing our bodies on the cellular level. Knowing and paying attention to macros, remember just the fats, carbs, and proteins. You'll be surprised as many times as I say it, how long it takes to actually remember what they were. But paying attention just to macros was the most helpful portion of this program for me, because I spent years upon years wanting and trying to pay attention to like everything. I wanted to Whole30 keto, 21-day fix, trim healthy mama, paleo, South Beach diet, all of it at the same time. Like I was going to combine them all because they're all good in this and good in that. We don't have to do that anymore. The Faster Way to Fat Loss has proven with results time and time again that the science behind the carb cycling and the intermittent fasting is the absolute best program combination that there is. So I'm no longer restricted. I no longer nap 2 to 3 hours a day. I am doing more with my days now than I ever thought possibly. I can literally count on probably 2 hands in the past year the number of times we've been through the drive-through. And for a family of 7, it's about, I'm spending about probably about $250 of the week. Anyway, about $250 a week at the grocery store. And I don't have like teenage boys, and that's including everything. I mean, like cleaning supplies and toilet paper and paper towels. So I don't know how you do your budgeting, but that's not just groceries. That's like my whole shebang. So, like I said, I don't have teenagers, so that may look a little bit different, but this really is doable and cost effective because you're not also forking out cash for a bunch of products and a bunch of supplements that you can put your trust in that are going to do everything for you, because that's not going to happen. Like I am just now in my journey where I am incorporating, protein powder and probiotics and BCAAs and what else do I do? Fiber and something like a protein thing, because I was basically, I feel like everything out there failed me that I tried supplement and product wise. I was like looking to everything to be the thing that was going to like make me never sick and take care of my family and never have problems and blah, 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 blah. And like, then I kind of think about it now and I'm like, yeah, well, you can't really supplement bad nutrition. So now I'm finally to the point where I'm like, I've recovered from the damage that me putting false hope and security in a supplement or a product has done to me. So I'm just now finally implementing those things. But anyway, I promise you, if you put forth your best effort, this program will do for you what you've never been able to do for yourself. You might end up spending more money on clothes than you did this boot camp. I did. But here's the deal. The Faster Way to Fat Loss does not provide a meal plan. And at first I was like, what the heck? No meal plan for $200? But now I absolutely appreciate that, because here's the deal. So I give you a meal plan for 6 weeks. Well, then what? What are you going to do when you've got to learn this on your own? You're going to have to look at labels. You're going to have to, there's a scanner on your MyFitnessPal app. You just scan things, your bag of salad, your sour cream, your almonds, whatever it is, you scan that little UPC label thing and it tells you everything you need to know. So it's super easy, but that's how you learn what has how many carbs in it and how you pair that so that you can get in your macros for the day. So I know that if I'd had it all laid out there for me, I would not have worked hard to figure it out. And then I would not have been set up for success. I would have been set up once again for failure because I wouldn't have known how to do it on my own. So just bear with me. We're going to give you as many helpful things as we can that we used, not that were given to us, because that's not really how this kind of works at the, what do you call that? The founder level, maybe. Not really a level. What's the word? The program in and of itself doesn't provide a lot of these little resources that Emily and I give you. So basically that's what I'm saying. Anyway, and also you may not like the things I tell you to eat. So you need to look at what you enjoy and what your family likes and your preferences and make it work from there. You can do that. It's just carbs, fats, and proteins. Don't you be stressed. Speaking of a meal plan, I legally cannot tell you like what to eat or write you a nutrition plan because I'm not a certified dietitian. So FYI. But I do want to empower you to find the foods that you need. And I do have a friend and a client. She's actually in my VIP group who has been so successful in this program. I don't post on social media and I always have to have permission for a before and after picture, but I don't post bikini, like bathing suit pictures or sports bra and shorts on social media, really because I have like a lot of old men that follow me from church and stuff. And that's just kind of weird. But anyway, but she has given me permission to share her before and after that's in her 2-piece in like my private groups. Cause she's got, like her girls' school. They're like, Mom, I don't want that. Like, I don't want all my friends seeing you in your like bikini. So anyway, no offense to the, all of that. I'm not, sorry, y'all. I should turn my phone on like do not disturb or airplane mode or something. Anyway, so we had our oldest around the same time. And so while I was like making baby food and feeling so domestic with my really simple, like put it all in a pot, boil it, and then food process it, she was like having a website for baby food, like apple cinnamon strudel and pumpkin spice sweet potatoes. And like my poor girl, she just got it pureed. So anyway, she's super creative. I said to her when she started, I was like, you need to write a meal plan. And so she did. If you're interested in that, everybody loves it. Like in my other groups, they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. She has the macros track written out for you. She has how to enter it into MyFitnessPal. She has a prepping schedule. She has a grocery list. It's super, super neat. And I have a $10 off coupon code, FYI. But anyway, my biggest obstacle and roadblock that I overcame in my year-long journey so far was my mind, right? I never thought I could be a runner. I never thought that I could really and truly care about my health and care to take care of my health. And I didn't think I would desire making exercise and nutrition not only a priority, but something that eventually became just kind of part of me and natural to me. So I know that there are several of you in this group that know me and have seen like a changed life. And so I want this so much for everyone because I feel like a majority of people have tried everything and nothing's worked. And I'm like, no, this will. Like my favorite saying is, if I can, you can. Actually, I think there's probably like 2 people in this particular group, maybe 3, that have 5 children or more. So I'm telling you, like, if I can do this, you can do this. But I want you to do what you can as you can. I don't want you to be so overwhelmed that you aren't successful. So it may be, week 1, all you do is track your food. Maybe week 2, and maybe you just track the food you eat. Then maybe week 2, you track the food and you kind of start focusing on the way that we're eating. Maybe week 3, you decide to incorporate some of the workouts. But take a look at kind of like your life and look at what you can do each week and really and truly just sort of navigate what your goals should look like. Please don't feel like, oh my gosh, I've got to start out like right out the gate, get this done, do it perfectly, just like everything else you've tried, because that will not set you up for success. I really, really, really want you to allow this to be a lifestyle, and I want you to really see what is manageable for you right now in this process, okay? I just want to set you up for success. So do not beat yourself up. Set a couple realistic goals each week, and you will find success. I do promise you that. And also, if you haven't worked out in a while, like don't hardcore this right now. I literally tell people, take half of look at the workout, tell yourself I'm going to do half of it, and then do half of that. Because nobody has time right now to like not be able to sit down on the toilet because you're in so much pain. Like you can't really, it makes you feel terrible. You can't think well about what you're eating. You can't take care of yourself well when you're in a lot of pain. So don't do it to yourself. You have plenty of time in the next 6 weeks to work up to your fitness level. All right. Okay. So some expectations for the group and how we're going to communicate each day. It will be super, super, super helpful if all of your questions, all of your comments get posted in the daily thread. Now, nothing is done. Please ask any question. We are all at different phases and stages. And half the time, I can't even think straight. So I'm just like, somebody just tell me the answer to this. We don't mind to do that. Okay. So definitely post it. There will be a Monday thread, a Tuesday thread, a Wednesday thread for the duration of the program. And so for that day, keep everything in that day. And y'all, Facebook drives me nuts. Okay. Sometimes Friday is bumped down. Like you can't find it. I will try each day to remember to pin that day's post as an announcement and make it easier to find. I'm going to try. Okay. I can't make any promises because then I forget to remove them and then they all get jumbled up. But if you notice that something is just like a mess and you're like, oh my gosh, where is this date? You're not alone. It's Facebook. It's crazy. They're in the process of trying to find another platform for us to use, but right now there's not a good one. So if you know of one, let me know. I also need you to post questions and comments in this page because I do not always see Facebook messages. I don't always see Instagram messages. Unless you have a private or sensitive matter to discuss, email it to info@dwellness.life and we will get back to you through the email because I can't be trusted with messages. I'm sorry. It's terrible right now. And we also want to keep the engagement on this page because chances are if you have a question, someone else has that question too. Let's see what else. Oh, if 24 hours go by and you have not had a response from me or Emily, we won't both always respond. Tag us both because it means that we did not get to see it and it got like buried and lost somewhere in the Facebook feed. All right. My post will typically arrive around 6 a.m. each morning and I will check in and respond to questions and comments and macros about 2 or 3 times a day during blocks of time. So let's see what else. Okay, do not be in a panic. You will make progress with this program over the next 6 weeks. And so now I am going to, and share your recipes and snack ideas and anything you come up with. And if for some reason, like it's not the right thing, or I'm like, oh no, that's a bad idea, I'm just going to be like, oh no, that actually doesn't work. Here's why. But don't resist doing that because you're afraid it may be wrong. Like that is what this becomes, is kind of a resource for each other. So also, at the beginning of next week, we will begin posting our macros each day. And I actually prefer for you to post the nutrient tab. And I really want you paying attention to I'm going to find it for you. I really want you paying attention to the nutrient tab for now, not the pie chart. It's okay to glance at the pie chart and see if you're keeping everything in the kind of balance. But I really want you to see what your goals are each day and how you're meeting them. Can you see this? Let me figure out. Yeah, do this. Okay, so see how it says protein goal, and I actually have the premium version, but you do not need the premium version. I used the free version until about a month ago, and a bunch of clients were using this premium one, and I needed to figure out how it worked. So anyway, so see how I have my goal set for today's a low carb day for 50. This is not accurate. I was playing around with a bunch of stuff, by the way. And then my goal for protein and my goal for fat. That's all you're looking at, but it tells you how much you have left. And that's going to be really, really helpful for you as you're planning and kind of trying out different combinations. So each day, beginning next Monday, you'll take a screenshot of that nutrient tab only and post that in the comments section on the thread. So here's a quick overview. Macros are the fats, carbs, and protein. Mondays and Tuesdays are low carb days, and we consume less than 50 carbs. Okay, that's 50 net carbs. So you're going to take those carbs that I showed you, and then you're going to subtract the fiber only on Mondays and Tuesdays. And on Mondays and Tuesdays, for the carbs that we're lacking, we are going to double our fat, and our protein will still stay the same. Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday are regular macro days, and Friday and Sunday are low macro days, where you multiply each of your macros times 0.75. That's why that little chart I have you is helpful, because you kind of have to do some math and write it all out to look at. And 50 or more calories will break your fast. And this is something this a friend of mine was doing. She thought you had to break your fast with 50 calories only. And I was like, oh no. Just once you consume 50 calories, so like if whatever you're putting in your coffee or whatnot, that will break your fast if it's over 50 calories. So ease your way into the fasting. If you're not ready to do the full 16 hours, start with 10 hours of fasting, and then 12, and then maybe 14, and then maybe 16. And y'all, this is not a marathon. I mean, no, this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. There's a lot to learn and a lot to implement. You cannot do it all at once. Your brain, like literally, I don't think has the capacity to do that. So that's why this is a 42-day program. Just pick one or two things to work on at a time. And then after this call, I'm going to post that macro planning sheet along with, let me see. I was going to try to share my screen and show you guys where I'm going to have it, but it'll be in the files on the Facebook page is where I'll have like some frequently asked questions, the macro planning chart, some low carb snack ideas, and a couple other things. So before and after pictures. I don't mind what kind of pictures you send me. I mean, I've had a bazillion children, and I'm not like super modest, but I would never use one without clothing on a social media post if you were to even give me permission. I would never post it without permission anyway. So I do want you to take some in just regular fitted exercise clothing, because it's going to be really helpful for you to see the difference in 6 weeks. And then you may be like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Yeah, you can post it. So I would definitely want you to have clothing on. And you will just email that to info@dwellness.com. No, scratch that. info@dwellness.life. Okay. I do though, even if you send me those pictures with some clothing on, I think you need to take pictures also of you just in a sports bra and shorts, or in a bathing suit that you want to get back into, so that you can see that for yourself. And if you have adrenal fatigue or Hashimoto's or any thyroid disorder, or you're pregnant or you're nursing, definitely email me info@dwellness.life. In case I don't get around to looking through the client assessment forms for a few days. I usually wait a couple of weeks because it takes a while for everybody to get theirs in, and I want to know about that right away. So please let me know about that. Just send me an email. Hey, wanted to let you know this is what I have, or whatever. And we can talk through that, because there are some modifications for pregnancy, breastfeeding, adrenal fatigue. And that should have been in your comprehensive guide, but if you need help in a little clarification, let me know. Okay. I know that was a lot of information. If you're watching this later or as now, you're free to type in the comments. Emily will answer them. I will answer them later if she's on this call. And feel free, as you watch this again, to post any more questions that you have. But I'm going to go through now some of the frequently asked questions that I get and have gotten, and kind of let you know some of those answers. So here we go with the Q and the A. Can we have coffee before noon? Oh my goodness, I would have never signed up for this if we could not. Yes, I don't recommend more than 2 cups though, as the acidity has some inflammatory effects on our bodies. And whatever you're putting in it, make sure it's less than 50 calories. Okay, the question of why is this a non-dairy program? I thought this was like manageable. I want dairy. Okay, like I said, I'm gluten and dairy minimal. Both dairy and gluten are inflammatory. So it's not a requirement. This is your journey. Do what you can. But if you get to the point where you're just not making any progress or noticing any changes, and you're still doing gluten and dairy, then I would suggest taking it out for a little while, but don't be stressed about that right now. Okay. How much freedom is there to differentiate workout days and days within the carb cycle? Okay, here's the deal. I am all about freedom, but you want to be careful deviating too far from the program, because there are a million of us, not really, there are 300 coaches, and probably, I don't even know how many thousands of people living this way. And we typically all keep our low carb days the same. We intermittent fast every day, like forever and ever. So if you have some sort of interruption or like a random change in your schedule, yes, move things around and let me help you with that, because there's a couple things you don't want to do. But overall, I would just plan to stick to the program as much as possible. And I can go into that if you have a specific question, ask it in the Facebook group, because you definitely want to keep those HIIT workouts paired with the low carb days. That's when we really burn that fat. Let's see, what was another question? Someone said, in my practicing of this, there have been some times that I feel like I can't eat all of the suggested calories. She says, that's a first. I could fill in the calories, but then that will mess up my macros. Here is the deal. We are eating until we are 80% full and satisfied. It will be a stretch for many of you to meet those macros here in the first 3 weeks. Like, it's just, none of us are used to it because we haven't been giving our bodies what they need. So Emily and I will say, oh, let's bump up your protein, or, oh my goodness, you need way more fat, or whoops, you need to definitely get those carbs up, etc. You will hear us say that for 2 or 3 weeks until you're kind of getting the hang of it. And you're like, oh, I see what I did here. I needed this many more carbs, or I needed that much more protein, or my fats are out of whack. But so don't feel like you're getting in trouble. We're just trying to be helpful and help you kind of navigate this journey. But do not, for the sake of getting the perfect numbers, stuff yourself. You know what? You've got plenty of time to meet these macros. So just do the best that you can. It is totally okay. Okay, so what about the sugar in things like the Taylor Farm salad or the muffins that you eat? Here's the deal. We are only looking at fats, carbs, and protein. Don't worry about any of those other things right now, especially on your regular macro days where you're eating a lot of fruit. Your sugar is going to be out of range. That is okay. If you're concerned about it and you ask me, I'm going to say, did that sugar come from Sour Patch Kids, or did that sugar come from fruit? Okay. So do not be concerned about that. Should we exercise before or after we break our fast? Here's what I'm going to say over and over. The best time to exercise is the time that you can exercise. And the best workout is the workout that you do. So don't get too caught up on getting everything perfectly. There are benefits to both. Yes, fasted workouts dip into that fat store, but afternoon workouts give you the burst of energy that you need to get through the day. They're equally advantageous. So you do what works for you when you can do it. All right. Let's see what else. Okay. I'm reading these questions. Okay. Is Instagram needed for this program? Not at all. Most everything I post on Instagram is also on Facebook. But there are stories at the top. I don't know how familiar you are with Facebook, but you can watch little stories, and that's basically what's on Instagram. So this was a good question too. How much water per day? Half of your body weight in ounces. So if you weigh 140, drink 70 ounces of water or more. Will we sabotage the plan if we are vacationing and not sticking to the program? Nope. When I vacation or travel or whatnot, I keep my fast. I focus on one healthy meal and one healthy snack. And then I enjoy freedom, but not indulgence. Okay. And this is the best, like, I think you'll find, like, oh my gosh, there's just so many things, like when you're going on a trip and somebody else may have been before and they're like, oh, you're going to love this and you're going to love this. Oh my gosh, I can't wait for you to go to such and such. Like, I feel like that's what I do. And everybody's just like, I don't know. We'll see. But I'm serious, y'all. You are going to have so many mental light bulbs go off, so much transformation in your mind. You're going to that's why I do this. It is like partnering with you on your journey. This is the first prep call I haven't cried. Okay, I cry. Oh, and then every time, even sometimes where I feel like I haven't gonna cry, and then I talk about how I wasn't crying, then I cry. Y'all, I cannot wait, especially for those of you. I mean, we're all coming to this program for one reason or another. Either A, you're under eating and over exercising and you're just not having energy, or you're just not feeling your best, or you've tried everything in the world and nothing is working, or you just really want to fuel yourself correctly because you haven't been. Like, we're all coming from a different place, and in that different place, we all have this level of kind of defeatedness. Like, I just don't even know where to start. And none of us have the energy or the the wherewithal maybe just to kind of dig in and get there. I'm just telling you, basically, I'm bossy and I can just tell you what to do. And this will do that for you. I just cannot wait. I just can't, sorry, y'all, but I really can't wait for those of you to really experience the reason why I'm passionate about this. So Sorry, thought I was going to get through it, but I didn't. Emily's going to maybe be making fun of me. I don't know. She always will be like, well, thought you weren't going to cry. So anyway, okay. So is kombucha okay? Is kombucha okay during fasting? Yes. Some of them are higher in caloric content than others. So just be sure to look at the serving size on the label to see how much of it you should drink. Can I adjust my macro goals since my protein seems too low? Okay, here's the deal. If you want to keep doing things the way you were doing them, then keep doing things the way you were doing them and just throw this money out the window, because I can't change that portion of the program. Like, you've got to stick to the macros as suggested for these next 6 weeks. If you want to stick around for another session after that, we will adjust macros, but not right now. So it's got to be the 50, 30, 20. All right. And then let's see what else. Okay. Is bone broth okay while fasted? Yes. Especially when I was first starting to fast, y'all, I was like, it was kind of hard, and I wasn't even a real big breakfast eater anyway. I thought I was like, oh, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. That's how you jumpstart your metabolism. So I started eating breakfast, and guess what? I jumpstarted my weight gain. Because then I'm like, oh God, I wasn't even hungry. And I'm like, oh, I better eat breakfast. I'm supposed to eat breakfast. So then when I was like, oh, you can't have breakfast, I wanted breakfast, so my bone broth was really special. And I could really only have a serving because then it would put me out of my fast. Let's see what else. How do we keep our carbs down, but our calories up? Fat, 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 okay? Avocado, coconut oil, olive oil, nuts, almonds, nut butter. Let's see, what else? If you need to use a little bit of dairy, some butter, some heavy cream, things like that. Ground beef for dinner, bacon. What else did I not mention? Seeds. We really have to replace the carbs we're diminishing with the fat, all right? How do you avoid being hungry on low carb day? Fats, fluids, water, lots and lots of water. Let's see. What would you consider being, what would you consider the fat burning zone? Basically being able to carry on a conversation. If you have a fitness watch, you want to stay in that. Mine is like zone 3, I think, zone 3 or zone 4. So you'll need to kind of determine that for yourself. Can I only drink black coffee? Y'all, listen, when I was first starting, I would measure out how much of this creamer I could have. And it was like the Natural Select natural kind. And then I switched to the almond or coconut one. Then I switched to nut pods. Now I just do a little bit of sweetener and a little bit of cinnamon and a splash of almond milk. And I'm good. And y'all, I used to drink a little coffee with my creamer. Okay. So if I can do that, you can. I'm not a black coffee drinker. I will if I have to, but I'm like, that's like my favorite part of the day is like my coffee and spending time with the Lord and journaling. And that's like, that's like why I wake up. So, no, I'm going to enjoy that actually for the rest of my life. I did just now buy some more nut pods because I was kind of just wanting a different flavor than what I had at home with my sweet drops. These like stevia drops. Anyway, let's see what else. Any kind of herbal tea is totally fine during your fasting period. Modifications that you need to make for exercises. I could show you, but you can just as easily Google modification for burpee or modification for in and outs or modification for lunges. Guys, I'm empowering you right now. Let's see what else. Looking for some more of the questions. Okay. So I think that is all of the questions that y'all sent to me and all of the ones that I've compiled from the group. I'll go over some more later. So just go ahead in the comments, type out any more questions that you have. If Emily has been, like I said, I'm not looking at the chat. If Emily is able to answer, she will throughout the call. If you're catching this replay, go ahead and write out your questions and we'll get back to you. So anyway, I hope that everyone has an absolute great day. I am once again so excited that you are on this journey with us and cannot wait to see how this Thanksgiving will not sabotage you and how this Halloween will not sabotage you and how you're going to go into this holiday season and 2019 as the best version of yourself. So anyway, so glad you're here, y'all. I actually get really, really excited because I think you guys have an extra special place in this group because I was not going to run an October group. And then there were a couple people that just couldn't do the September group, and some people didn't want to wait till the November group. So y'all are so special, and I'm so glad you're here. So anyway, I hope you have a great day, and we will be back in touch.